Okay, we have a special, very special guest tonight. I want to introduce Chef Ace Champion. Ace Champion is a well-known chef in this area as well as throughout the country. You can see him locally on Saturdays on the CW, as well as television stations around the country. So I'm going to turn it over to Chef Champion. He's going to continue from here.
How's everybody doing tonight? All right, they said this was the cool crowd over here. So
We'll walk over there too.
and of course, I got my beer in here. Obviously, I've been in Wisconsin long enough, right? Awesome. No, it was truly an honor and a pleasure to come out here. They asked me to come do this a couple of months ago, and it really, truly hit home to me. Growing up and as obviously going through my career, I've also been abused, I've been bullied, I've been talked about, and I learned through life that I'm not that unique. I can probably guarantee that everybody in this room, in some way or another, has had some type of, negativity thrown their way. So hopefully by me telling my story and kind of, giving you guys a little bit of motivation, you guys can take that with you. So I'm just going to address the elephant in the room too as well. How many people thought I was a Packer player when I walked in the door? I'm just saying, everywhere I go, they're like, he's a Packer. And it's so bad because when I tell people that I'm not, you know what they say? That's just what a Packer player would say. I moved up here probably about 15 years ago from Louisiana. And just to touch base on that Packer story again, because we're all Packer fans in here, right? Yeah, all right. And, obviously the first place my friends took me was to the bar. That was the go-to place. And everyone's just so nice. Everyone's waving at me and wanting to shake my hand and giving me hugs. I'm like, wow, these Wisconsinites are pretty freaking cool, I like that. And then they asked me, well, what position do you play? Well, I was only a fry cook at the time, so I said fry cook. And the drink stopped and everyone said, he's just a normal guy, So it's all good, though. I didn't know whether to be offended or whether to be honored, because that is an honor, But my story is I moved up here from Louisiana. I'm trying to better myself, better my life. I knew I always wanted to be a great cook. But being a good Cajun cook in Louisiana is like being a good cheesemaker in Wisconsin, right? We're all good cheesemakers. So I came up here to kind of stand out and had no idea the struggles that I would have to face. I moved up here without a vehicle. I had a bicycle actually at 25 years old, and I had to take care of my kids, and people were like, well, what are you going to do in the winter? I'm like, well, I'm going to ride my bike, I got to take my kids. Little do I know about Wisconsin winter. So I got broke in really fast and really quick. I spent about 15 years in the culinary industry, and it was pulling on me that I needed to do more. How many people over here like to chase their dreams? Yeah. All right, we're going to fix that. Hopefully we're going to fix that tonight, Chasing your dream is probably the most satisfying thing that you can ever do. And I know a lot of times it's hard. We all think that we can't do it, but William Floyd said it best, right? Whether we think we can or can't, we're probably right. Because the mind controls the body, and the body does what the mind says. So we're going to fix that. And, when I went to culinary arts school, it was funny because the first thing that I said when I started is that I wanted to be a celebrity cooking show host. This was back in 2010. Oh, you guys think you're laughing now. You should have heard the people when I told them that. Yeah, everyone's laughing. Even the teachers were kind of like laughing. Like, who is this guy? And that's the challenge that you might face when you're starting your own dream. Is some people might laugh at you. Some people might think it's dumb. Some people might think, you're never going to make it. But the thing that you need to focus on, that I focused on, is I didn't care what anybody else said. I didn't care what anybody else thinks. Don't get me wrong, it hurts, but I only cared about my vision. And my vision was to get to where I had to go and go through whatever I had to go through. And probably one of the greatest aspects that I have is the fact that I did not quit. Albert Einstein said it best. They asked him, Albert, why are you so smart? He says, not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stick with problems longer than most people, which means that he don't quit. A lot of times we go through life and we're trying to chase our dreams and we're trying to do what's right for us, and things don't go the right way, or we get punched in the gut. Who's ever got punched in the gut trying to chase their dreams? Yeah, I have, very hard. And those are the times it's not about how many times you get hit. It's about how many times you get hit and get up and keep keep on moving. And that's really what I did. So the dream didn't start. After I graduated, that was just the beginning, you know. And I remember feeling so enthused and so happy that I was actually going to culinary art school. And then I graduated. And then I got another hit in the gut, a little dose of reality. Because what I didn't realize is there's not a lot of chefs in Green Bay or restaurants that pay for chefs. So here I am, put myself in culinary art school. I'm graduated, I have 20 years experience, meat cutter. I'm thinking these people are going to be banging down my door. And guess what? No one knocked. So I didn't know what I was going to do. And that's the thing in life. Sometimes we get these challenges and it seems like there's, what are we going to do? How are we going to get past that? And I realized that this is a thinking universe. Literally, as long as you think with a positive attitude and a positive mind, you can think your way out of any situation. So I started thinking, what do I need to do? So I knew I couldn't make it in the restaurant. So I actually pulled myself out of the restaurants and worked at a nursing home for a year and a half. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I got this 12-year, this degree, you know, I graduated honors, and now I'm at a nursing home. Most humbling thing I ever could have done, because what I found there was a lot of people that said, man, I wish I would have done what I wanted to do throughout my life, and they kind of missed the boat. So that's why I challenge you guys. I know it's hard, especially when you've been abused, when you've been talked about, when you've been beaten down to the ground. I get that that's hard, but I want to let you know that you can begin to change your life today. You know, a lot of times we think so much about what happened in the past, we tend to neglect the future. So one of the few things that really changed my life, and I'll share this with you guys, it's called the law of attraction. Anybody ever heard of that before? Somebody's feeling me. So apparently there's laws in the universe that I never knew about. You know, when I went to high school, all they taught me is the law of gravity. If I jump off a building, I'm going to hit the ground and I'm most likely not going to make it. That's the only law I knew. But what I realized is that thoughts are so important. Thoughts are governed through the energy that we think. So whatever we think about, we actually attract into our life. I didn't know that. I went through life thinking it was everyone else's fault. It was their fault that it took me 20 years to go to school. It was their fault I was riding a bike. It was the person I was with's fault for all these different things. And it was only until I looked myself in the mirror and said, yeah, you probably had 99.9% of the reason why you didn't get to where you wanted to go. A lot of times in life we choose to think about what we don't want to experience. And I want to challenge you all to change that thought pattern. It's called cognitive reprogramming. Excuse my French, I'm still a country boy by heart, so if I slur a little bit, it's just because of that. Cognitive reprogramming means you actually have to reprogram the way you actually think in order to attract what you want to have. And I know you heard all the time, just be positive, just think positive. And we think that just because we say something positive or we think positive things are actually just going to show up in our life. But it doesn't really work that way. We live in a feeling universe. So if you just intellectually just say something and you don't really have that corresponding belief underneath it, you really, that's how it counts. You really don't have the power to manifest what you really want. So when you're chasing your dreams and you're saying, I want to do this, whether it's a position, whether it's owning your own business, you literally have to believe and you have to feel that. And you have to be in the moment as if I'm already there. And that's really what I live by. I wrote a book called 8 Steps to Your Perfect Meal. And the first step is visualization. Anybody visualize in the house today before they do things? Kind of that concept, look before you leap. There might be a truck right there, you know. Think before you do anything. I never knew that. I went through life thinking my mind was just on this kind of automatic mode where all the thoughts that entered my mind were just basically just thoughts that I had to deal with. And it was only until then that I realized that I had complete control over every single thought that I had. And it's a battle. Don't get me wrong. I mean, trying to control your mind is probably the hardest thing you're ever going to do in life. Don't you agree? Very hard. If you don't agree, then you're lying, because it's very hard. Very, very hard. But when you start to control that thought as soon as it comes to your mind, not letting it manifest. Because have you ever been just sitting there by yourself? Excuse my friends, there's no kids in here. Have you ever been sitting there by yourself and you just pissed yourself off for no reason? No one's around you, no one made you mad. You just all of a sudden, because of your thoughts, you're thinking that. That's how powerful your thoughts are. And we want to move to the future, right? We want to manifest great things in the future, but we can't do that if we keep thinking about the negative and the bad things that are in the past.
And don't get me wrong, the things in the past definitely scar us, they hurt us, they're always going to be there, they don't just magically disappear. But what I challenge you guys to do is, as soon as that negative thought enters your brain, immediately that's when the battle begins. Martin Luther King said it best, you don't have to see the whole staircase, you just have to take the first step. And that was one of my problems when I started my career, is I wanted a 5-year business plan. Anybody ever heard that before, a 5-year business plan? Yeah, it's not really the way life works, is it? I don't even know what's going to happen, next week, So what I decided to do is, okay, I wanted to be on TV. What's the first step? And then I took that first step. And then magically, the next step unfolded. And then the next step unfolded. I heard a guy say it best that, picture you're driving through at night and you have your taillights on, and then we're in our Wisconsin winters, right, where you can only see 5 feet in front of you, right? But you trust, because you have that light, that eventually you're going to get to your destination, whether it's me coming from Green Bay to Manitowoc. You trust that. That's exactly how life is. You don't have to see everything. You don't have to know everything. I had no idea how I was going to manifest my cooking show. And you know what? When I did in season 1, guess what happened? After the 12th episode, my producer pulled the plug and said, "You no longer have a show." And I cried for about an hour, and then I got over it because I understand the power of thought. And I started thinking to myself, Ace, what do you need to do now? And that was the best thing that ever could have happened to me, because literally that was the universe answering my true desire. My true desire was not to work for anybody, not to have a show that was controlled by anybody. And by doing that, this made me now the executive producer. Did I know anything about production? I did not. I had no idea. I had no idea what closed caption was. But a lot of times in life, we don't know things, and really, it's no one's fault. I hate to be bold like that, but it's no one's fault but yours if you don't choose to learn it. When I started college, I had no idea what an email was. I thought cutting and paste was literally cutting a piece of paper in half and pasting it together. You should have saw the look on people's face. Literally, I showed up in class like that. They thought I was just like, well, you know the words, I'm not going to say it. It was really crazy. But I was able to ask people and learn from people. And by doing that, I was able to manifest really what I want to do. So really the moral of the story is, when you're going through life, concentrate on what you want to have happen. I know sometimes we go through the abuse, we go through the beatdown, we get punched in the gut, and we end up only concentrating on what we do have. I know there's some people maybe in the house tonight that is diagnosed with a certain type of disease, or they have a family member that's in that certain situation too as well. I can't stress to you now how important it is to not concentrate on the negative. Because remember what the law of attraction says, what I constantly think about, I attract into my circle, into my life. Mic check. Sorry, I got to pause. Cheers, Wisconsin. So I'm almost done. I got about 5 minutes left. I hate to neglect the people over there, because you guys told me you were the cool crowd, and they said they were the cool crowd. So we're going to go over there, but you guys were wonderful. I'm going to keep talking for about 5 minutes, and I love you guys. We are coming back to Rome. Back Rome, here we come. All right, how's everybody doing on here today? Oh yeah. So they said over there that they were the cool crowd. I want to hear if they're true or it's the real cool crowd. Let's go over here and talk to my sisters over here. I heard you guys are the cool sisters in town. Thank you guys for coming. My pleasure. So back to the subject line. How's everybody doing tonight so far? Can I get a cheers? All right. It's an awesome cause tonight. This is about domestic violence, like I was saying over there. I can guarantee you, almost everybody in this room and any other room, in one way or another, has had something bad happen in their life, some type of tragic event. And I want to let you know that that's okay, because everyone's got to go through something, right? I just did a high school speech a couple days ago, and they asked me, what would I change if I had a chance to change it? And even though I've been dragged through the mud, smacked in the face, the whole 9 yards, I said nothing. Because what I went through in all those years and all those times is what made me the person I am today. I can share my story with you. might have a story to tell, right? You know, I'm on TV for a reason, and it's not because I was waiting on someone to take me there. I actually thought that. I actually thought that some magical guy was going to show up and say, Ace, you know what, I saw you cooking, we're going to put you on TV, we're going to get you all your dreams, and guess what? I would have still been waiting. So if you have a dream, and I mean a dream meaning your job, you know, you're at work, and I was telling these kids this, you're at work, a third of your life. That's a long time. I would hope to God that third of your life you're enjoying what you're doing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, make a change. I spent so many years in the restaurants after I graduated saying I hate the hours. You know, I hate the fact that the better I am, the more they work me. You know, I hate the fact that I went to culinary art school, got a degree, and they still wanted to pay me $12 an hour. I hated all these things. And for so many years, you know what I did? I sat there and just complained about it. I was that negative Nancy. Sorry if there's any Nancy's in the house, no point in saying. But I had Debbie Downer, there you go. I was that person. And it was until I actually started just looking myself in the mirror and looking myself in the face and realizing that my reality is manifested on the work that I put in. And the work that I put in today is going to reflect the outcome that I manifest in the future. Don't think for 1 minute that you're going to get everything that you want to do today. And don't give up. A lot of times we fight, we work hard at our dreams, we get our nice houses, we get our boats, we get all these things that we manifest. And sometimes people don't get that far. They get all the way up to the point, if you can just imagine a plant growing from the ground. And you're speaking, oh man, this is going to work, this is going to work. That plant is growing, but guess what? You can't see that plant until that plant pops up out of the earth. And a lot of times we give up on our dreams or our purposes or the jobs that we really want or the woman or the man that we really want to be with. We give up right before it pops out and manifests. You know what they say? That's not going to work. Well, let me tell you something. Every time you say, I'm not. Every time you doubt yourself, say, I can't, all these are creations. And you do not want to go through life creating what you don't want. Do you agree?
Yes.
Amen. Amen. Go through life creating what you do want, because we're all natural born creators by default. We all have that great imagination that we had when we were little kids. We didn't lose it. We just don't use it. But you know what I'm saying? Use it or lose it, right? And we don't want to use that. Look at me as a perfect example. A little guy from Louisiana, moved up here with the lights. Didn't make the Packer cut. They didn't want me. I was too short. Maybe too ugly. I don't know. But they didn't pick me. So I had to make a choice. You know, what do I want to do? Being a TV show host was my dream. I'm living it. I love getting up to work every morning. It's a blessing to me. I get to come to events like this and share my passion and my love with everybody else. I mean, how cool is that? So live your dreams, chase yourself, be all you can be, and know that nothing can stand in your way except for yourself. That's my story. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much.